Hey everybody, it's Carpo here. What do you expect from people? I'm going to try to make this brief, although they seldom are. This will be my second attempt at making a video like this. I made one a while back, similar, but it's about what we expect of people, expect of each other. And I can start out, I guess, by using just the average acquaintance that you meet online. I guess, for example, a guy I met a while back who said that, he was mad because I didn't answer his message quickly, within 24 hours or whatever, and got verbally abusive. So I, just moved on. I found his message in the spam folder later, and I thought about the way that people make you, they think that everyone's obligated to serve them. But I didn't, want to just approach it and just as something on the internet at all. And that was just my first example of an internet situation. I wanted to just think about people in general, society. What do we expect from the people that we meet on a day-to-day basis? We expect people to know more, I think, than they necessarily do. My friend and I had this conversation a couple weeks back. We were talking about, there was my brother and I, about how I was saying even the, most backwards hillbilly that a person might judge instantly and be like, oh, that guy's, an idiot. I said, that guy can show you how to make a still. And then my brother said, yeah, and he can show you how to do it with the right parts. And I said, exactly, that's it right there. He knows something, he's got something that he's good at. That's, that's not stereotyping, I'm just giving you an example. He's got skills and knowledge of his own that's based on his experience that he can share if people are willing to give him a chance. And each person has something to contribute, and we tend to judge each other and expect each other to know what we know. You meet people all the time that, they have this particular knowledge, and they think that you should have the knowledge too, that you should know what they know, or else you're an idiot. Whereas there's so many things that you could show them if they were willing to listen. But I don't take the time to waste with people who are competitive in their knowledge. Because for me, knowledge is a personal plight. It has nothing to do with other people at all. I don't use what I know to show off. I use it to share. But anyway, people are just people. We're never going to really know the inner workings of the human mind. We're going to try our best scientifically and metaphysically and try to get what's going on. But it's not a cut and dry thing. There's I don't know, an issue of consciousness, an issue of humanity, all that jazz. But each person is so different in the way that our brains are made up, and what they call neuroplasticity, which is the way that your brain is molded to your different situations that you encounter. For example, a mathematician, their neuroplasticity means that their brain has wired itself to see mathematical formulas and equations and everything, whereas an artist has, wired their brain to see art and beauty and everything, photographer, so on and so forth. So each person kind of has their own little thing and their own way of viewing the world. And I think we forget that. We see the similarities in each other, but we forget the differences. We forget that the reason why we see a similar side in each other is because we put that side on for each other. For example, when you're talking with a certain person, you don't bring up certain subjects because they're not interested. We cater our subjects to each person. Doesn't mean we change who we are. It just means that we know that not every person is into the same thing. So we might take one particular hobby when we're with one friend and one when we're with another one. The little differences like that those are the big differences, let's say, but the little differences are like the little idiosyncrasies we have. Two people might get along well until they discuss religion, and then all of a sudden it falls apart. Or they might start discussing You know, what's really sad is I can see how two religious people could part ways over their religious beliefs, because obviously many times you have to believe and stick with your people. I mean, I don't understand it. Couldn't do it, because I believe, you know, that it's an all-encompassing thing. But that's something I understand more than politics. How people can be divided over politics and actually like fight and bicker over two different sides of the same coin. So, you know, we have to understand everything. So, so what do we expect of each other in that sense? You know, we can't expect each other to agree on every point. There's no way. But we can learn something from each other. Think about what we expect from our husbands or wives, you know. I mean, do you, after living with someone for a long time, do you expect your wife to do certain chores? And does she expect you to do certain chores? What do you expect of your kids? Do you expect them to just listen, just because you're telling them to listen? Or do you expect them to listen because they want to? I think that I guess if I wanted to put all this, you know, consolidate this, it would be that we need to see each other empathetically and try to understand where we're coming from, and realize that it's more fun to embrace the similarities than to argue the differences. And if there are no similarities and two people just can't get along, the best thing to do is just move on. Abandon the relationship completely. Let's see how much time we got left here. I always got plenty of time when I'm looking, but when I get really into something, it clicks off. I only have 10 minutes on this camera. It's my old camera. I can't find the charger for my other one, so anyway. So yeah, you know, I think that it's easy for us to get caught up. If I could leave on a certain note, although we do have certain expectations of one another, there's another side of it that we really should analyze, which is the side of how we expect people to be. Because we have expectations not just of what people will do or how they'll act, but based on the way they used to be. And people do change, you know. People who say people don't change, there are components of you that don't change, but people can make an effort to change. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation with someone where they accuse you of doing something that you know that they don't like, and they're accusing you at a time when you're making an effort just totally not to do that. For example, my mom finds me intense because I move around fast while I'm doing stuff. To me, it's just normal speed. I'm a carpenter. I move, grab stuff, do this, do that. And the other day I was at her house and I was purposely moving slowly while I was changing the TV. And it was just a DVD player, TV outlet, something simple. And she's like, slow down, slow down. I was like, all right. I said, I want you to know that I'm purposely trying not to do that. And I pointed this out with her before, like, you know, I'm purposely trying not to argue or certain things because I make an effort to accommodate people's, the different opinions we have and the things that I know that set people off. And I'll be honest, I do push people's buttons sometimes, but only when they're pushing mine. And perhaps that's a childish notion, but, you know, I'm only human. You know, I'm not some guru who's above all of this emotional, you know, jargon, as some people think. This is all part of life, all these emotions. And when people, like, say something harsh to me, I retort, you know. That's just how it is. Not always, though, you know. If it gets to a point where the person doesn't have a point, then I can leave the conversation and know when to say, this is when it's not worth my time. So, I don't expect much of people. But from what I've seen of people, I do expect a certain degree of respect with people that I personally associate with. And they expect that of me. So, I think that's a universal thing. All we want is respect. So we earn it through respecting others. Peace.